7 Little Johnstons. Before splitting from boyfriend Darius, Anna Johnston was expecting a child? Shocking information disclosed. The personal depiction of a family negotiating life, love, and obstacles while living with achondroplasia, a kind of dwarfism, has enthralled viewers of the TLC reality series 7 Little Johnstons for years. The plotline involving Anna Johnston, the eldest daughter of Trent and Amber Johnston, has been one of the most captivating on the show. The series focused on Anna's love connections as viewers saw her transform from a boisterous adolescent into a self-assured young lady. In particular, her erratic relationship with Darius Stewart attracted a lot of attention due to the allegations that surrounded it as well as its emotional depth. The idea that Anna was pregnant prior to her split with Darius was one of the most enduring and dramatic rumors to surface from fan forums and social media conjecture. Based on publicly accessible evidence, interviews, and statements from those concerned, this article attempts to distinguish fact from fiction, investigate the rumor's beginnings, look at what truly happened during that time in Anna's life, and explain the truth. In 2019, Anna Johnston and Darius Stewart started dating, and their romance soon emerged as a major plot point in 7 Little Johnstons. Viewers were introduced to Darius, who also has dwarfism, as a kind and encouraging companion. The couple seemed to have a close relationship and frequently exchanged encouraging words, future plans, and tender moments. Their romance was not without its ups and downs, though, like many young ones. They broke up in 2021 as a result of the demands of being in the spotlight, personal development, and conflicting life objectives. Darius and Anna were forthright about their intention to create a future while they were dating. They talked about marriage, living arrangements, and perhaps starting a family eventually in a number of episodes. Although sincere, these discussions also stoked fan curiosity, particularly as their relationship started to exhibit symptoms of strain. Some viewers made connections they might not have made otherwise because of the timing of their split and Anna's emotional journey that followed. Shortly after the pair declared their separation in mid to late 2021, the notion that Anna was pregnant prior to her split from Darius seems to have started. Speculation flourished on social media sites, especially in the comment areas of Reddit, Twitter, and Instagram. Some viewers drew attention to Anna's appearance in specific episodes, saying she appeared bloated or different. Others pointed to Anna's ambiguous social media posts from that time frame as proof of a covert pregnancy. On a 7 Little Johnstons fan page, there was a particularly popular post claiming that Anna had been spotted at a women's clinic in her hometown. Some people immediately assumed this to be a prenatal visit. But this was never verified by any reliable source, and the post was eventually removed after being reported for spreading false information. Even though there was no proof, the story spread because to tabloid-style blog postings and clickbait YouTube videos with dramatic headings like "Darius left her because she was pregnant" and "Anna Johnston's secret pregnancy exposed." It's crucial to remember that reality TV frequently makes it difficult to distinguish between carefully chosen content and personal life. Sometimes, viewers fail to realize that the content they see on screen has been rewritten, trimmed, and rearranged to forward the plot. When interpreted via the prism of conjecture, a moment of melancholy, a change in attire, or even a straightforward stomachache can be misinterpreted. Neither throughout her connection with Darius nor at any other point has Anna Johnston disclosed that she is pregnant. She has actually kept her reproductive health a secret, which is completely within her rights. She has, however, talked about the emotional effects of her split with Darius in a number of interviews and social media posts. "It was really hard," Anna said openly about the breakup in a 2022 interview with People magazine. "Although we were at various stages of life, Darius and I had a great deal of affection for one another. I have to put myself, my objectives, and my recovery first. If your goals aren't aligned, love may not always be enough." She underlined that there was no scandal or unspoken drama behind the scenes and that the choice to split up was mature and amicable. "This year also taught me that my value isn't dependent on a relationship," Anna wrote in an emotional Instagram post commemorating her one-year single anniversary. "I am proud of the lady I am becoming, and I have come a long way. For anyone experiencing heartbreak, there is still hope for the future." Notably, she has never mentioned pregnancy, miscarriage, or reproductive health difficulties in any of her public remarks. The fact that Darius Stewart has mostly kept quiet about the details of his split from Anna says a lot about his personality and regard for her privacy. He has spoken politely about their relationship in the few times after their breakup. He stated, "Anna is an amazing person," in a 2022 podcast appearance that had nothing to do with 7 Little Johnstons. "Even though it didn't work out in the long run, I will always wish her the best because we had something genuine." Presumably because the pregnancy rumors were baseless and not worthy of a dignified response, he chose not to openly address them. The pregnancy rumors' rapid spread draws attention to a larger problem in the era of digital media: the quick spread of unsubstantiated claims, particularly involving public persons. Even though they are not considered traditional celebrities, reality TV stars are frequently the subject of intense scrutiny. Some fans turn their private lives into public property, which breeds intrusive rumors and unfounded speculations. The Johnston family and TLC have consistently struck a balance between disclosing details of their lives and preserving their privacy. The show provides a glimpse into their everyday lives, but it shouldn't reveal every personal detail. It is not only improper but also risky to assume that viewers have a right to know every detail about Anna's body or reproductive decisions. It contributes to a culture in which women, particularly young, well-known women, are the targets of unjustified criticism and rumors. After she and Darius parted ways, Anna concentrated on her career and personal growth. She became more active in public speaking, started a profitable clothing company, and promoted the rights of people with disabilities. Additionally, she resumed dating, finally settling on a man called Cohen, whom she presented to her followers in 2023. In her most recent chapter, Anna has shown satisfaction and contentment, and their connection has been described as steady and encouraging. It's safe to presume that Anna would have decided whether or not to disclose the experience on her own terms, possibly in a future episode, a social media post, or an interview, had she had a pregnancy loss or an unintended pregnancy while she was dating Darius. Since she hasn't done so and there isn't any supporting proof, it is most likely that the pregnancy rumor is untrue. Because it matches a well-known story trope, the covert pregnancy that ends in a tragic breakup, the pregnancy rumor persists despite the lack of proof. Because this plot is frequently found in telenovelas, soap operas, and even certain reality shows, viewers may easily extrapolate it to actual events. Furthermore, there is opportunity for speculation due to the lack of clarity regarding the precise causes of Anna and Darius's breakup. People frequently use assumptions to fill in the blanks when they don't have all the information, especially if those assumptions lead to a more dramatic story. Furthermore, confirmation bias could be the reason the rumor continues. People have a tendency to perceive fresh information in a way that confirms their beliefs once they have been led astray by false information. For instance, a proponent of the pregnancy idea would interpret Anna posting a picture of herself after her breakup looking worn out or upset as proof of postpartum depression or sadness over a miscarried child, even if there are a gazillion other possible reasons for her behavior. A basic idea lies at the core of this problem: everyone has the right to privacy, particularly when it comes to issues as intimate as relationships, pregnancy, and reproductive health. Despite being well known due to her family's television program, Anna Johnston is still a private person who has the right to direct her own story. In addition to disrespecting her sovereignty, spreading unsubstantiated accusations about her body or personal life also feeds a poisonous online culture where women are policed and criticized for their actual or perceived choices. The Johnston family has consistently promoted positivism, acceptance, and understanding through their platform. They have freely discussed the difficulties of having dwarfism, the significance of loving oneself, and the need of family support. It's regrettable and odd that the same group of people who applaud their inclusive message would spread false rumors about one of their own. The assertion that Anna Johnston was pregnant prior to her split from Darius Stewart is not supported by any reliable evidence, public declarations, or chronology of events. The myth seems to have originated from fan conjecture, misunderstandings, and the spread of false information via sensationalist content producers and social media. Frequently, the reality is not as dramatic as the rumors indicate. Darius and Anna were two young people who loved one another but eventually came to the realization that their goals in life were different. Like most people, they experienced grief throughout their split, but it wasn't due to a secret pregnancy or any other scandal. Since then, Anna has moved forward with dignity, fortitude, and purpose, qualities that call for praise rather than unfounded rumors. It is our duty as viewers and fans to critically consume media and to treat those we see on TV with the same respect and decency that we would show to anyone in our real lives. Let's concentrate on Anna Johnston's path of self-discovery, development, and empowerment rather than sensational headlines or unproven claims. That is a story worth honoring, one based on strength, authenticity, and truth rather than rumors. 7 Little Johnstons. Are Amber and Trent not giving their children their TV money? The distinction between entertainment, family life, and financial ethics has long been muddled by reality television, and nowhere is this more evident than in the example of TLC's enduring series 7 Little Johnstons. With its focus on the Johnston family of Woodstock, Georgia, a family made up of only little people, the show has enthralled viewers since its premiere in 2015 by providing a close-knit, frequently comical, and sometimes moving glimpse into the everyday lives of Trent and Amber Johnston and their 5 kids, Jonah, Elizabeth, Anna, Emma, and Alex. From a straightforward family documentary series, the show has developed into a cultural icon that has sparked discussions about parenting, disability, representation, and the morality of child fame. But recently, there has been more conjecture about a particularly delicate topic: are Trent and Amber keeping their kids' television earnings? Although TLC and the Johnston family have never made precise compensation information available to the public, industry standards and regulatory frameworks offer a helpful prism through which to view the matter. The Coogan Law, named for former child star Jackie Coogan, who famously sued his parents in the 1930s after they spent almost all of his earnings, protects child performers in the U.S. The Coogan Law, which was first passed in California in 1939 and subsequently adopted in different forms by other states, requires that a portion of a minor's earnings from entertainment labor be put into a blocked account or trust that the kid can access when they are an adult. Although Georgia, the state where the Johnstons live and where a large portion of the show is shot, does not have its own Coogan Law, parents who are in charge of their children's finances are nonetheless subject to federal tax laws and general fiduciary duties. Both critics and admirers have been debating this legal ambiguity for a long time. On the one hand, Trent and Amber have continuously presented their involvement in the show as a family project, a team effort that is advantageous to everybody. They have stressed in interviews and social media posts that the show has enabled them to pay for a bigger house, special cars, dwarfism-related medical bills, and their kids' schooling. They contend that the money is not only used for individual enrichment but also for the family's overall well-being. However, observers have noted that given their direct and continuous involvement in filming, the youngsters may be entitled to more financial autonomy as they have become older. Some are now adults, while others are almost adults. Since the beginning of the show, Jonah, the oldest, has played a major role. He is currently in his mid-20s and has publicly expressed his wish to become independent, which includes moving out and establishing a profession of his own. On screen, Elizabeth, Anna, Emma, and Alex have also grown up, each acquiring unique personalities and plot lines that greatly to the attraction of the program. Critics contend that the kids should have a stronger claim to a share of the money made from their likenesses, autobiographies, and screen time if they are making money from these activities, especially as they grow up. The nature of reality television itself further complicates the problem. Participants in reality TV are usually categorized as talent rather than employees, in contrast to scripted shows where actors are compensated per episode or under union contracts, such those overseen by SAG-AFTRA. Because of this discrepancy, they sometimes do not have the same minimum wage guarantees or labor safeguards. Typically, there is no public breakdown of individual portions and compensation is arranged as a fixed family rate. This strategy streamlines the logistics of production, but it may hide the distribution of income within the family. Amber and Trent have merely hinted at financial issues. "Everything we do is for our kids," Amber said in a 2020 interview with People magazine. We're using the chances the show has provided us to help them succeed because we wouldn't have otherwise had them." Trent agreed, highlighting their responsibility as guardians of the family's assets. They have never, however, verified whether the children receive allowances or cash compensation for their labor, or whether any part of their profits is kept in trust. Social media has increased the level of scrutiny. Despite years of on-screen work, former child stars from other reality series, like the Duggar kids from 19 Kids and Counting, have talked of feeling financially excluded. Many viewers of 7 Little Johnstons are now wondering if the Johnston children are receiving fair treatment as a result of these testimonies. Speculation over the family's net worth is common in online forums and comment sections. Estimates range widely from $1 million to $5 million, although none of these numbers have been confirmed. It's crucial to remember that running a large family's finances, particularly when they have specific accessibility and medical requirements, is undoubtedly difficult. Significant medical expenses associated with dwarfism may include joint replacements, spinal operations, and customized orthotics. Features like lowered counters, step stools, and altered doorways, all of which require significant investments, are part of the Johnstons' renowned house renovation for the show. It's possible that Trent and Amber sincerely think that sharing resources is the most ethical course of action, guaranteeing that all 5 kids gain equally regardless of who is shown on television more often. However, the moral conundrum still stands: when does parental money management become appropriation? The expectations change as the younger Johnstons grow up. By most measures, adult children involved in a business enterprise should have control over their own income. Now that they are teenagers, Emma and Alex are mature enough to comprehend contracts and pay. They may be entitled to information about how their contributions are made if they are signing releases or taking part in promotional events. The problem is made worse by the absence of public accountability. Like the majority of networks, TLC maintains the privacy of talent contracts. Fans are left to draw conclusions without transparency from lifestyle indicators, such as opulent trips, brand new vehicles, and home improvements, which can be deceptive. If a sizable amount of revenue is allocated to taxes, agent fees, or production-related costs, such travel for filming, a family may appear prosperous while yet having strict financial limits. Furthermore, it is impossible to overlook the emotional toll that reality TV takes. Millions of people watch as the Johnstons disclose extremely personal experiences, such as disputes, dating difficulties, and health worries. Although this vulnerability adds to the show's attractiveness, it also symbolizes a type of labor that is rarely paid in conventional terms. There are further questions with permission and autonomy if the kids feel under pressure to engage in order to maintain family unity or income. Some supporters of the Johnstons contend that the program has given the community of little people much-needed exposure. The family has sparked a wider awareness and countered misconceptions by normalizing dwarfism in the media. According to this perspective, the advantages go beyond money to include social effect, which is a type of capital that is more difficult to measure but is just as real. Speaking at events and working with groups like Little People of America, Trent and Amber have made use of their position to promote inclusivity and accessibility. However, financial justice and activism are not incompatible. The Johnstons may, and perhaps should, advocate for representation while also making sure their kids receive fair compensation for their contribution to that cause. In fact, by proving that treating child actors ethically is both feasible and required, this might provide a strong precedent for future reality TV families. One of TLC's highest-rated shows as of 2024 is 7 Little Johnstons, which was just extended for several seasons. This durability implies that viewers are still drawn to the family's tale. However, longevity entails greater responsibility, especially since the kids from the early seasons are now adults with their own rights, goals, and voices. None of the Johnston children have accused their parents of concealing their salaries in public yet. Jonah, who keeps up an active social media presence, frequently discusses his business endeavors and personal achievements without bringing up money problems. Emma and Alex are involved in extracurricular activities at school, Anna is studying psychology, and Elizabeth has chosen to pursue a profession in makeup artistry. Their seeming satisfaction could mean that financial arrangements are good within the family, or it could mean that they are reluctant to discuss private issues in public, particularly while they are still bound by a contract. In the end, definitions of justice, openness, and parental responsibility will determine whether Amber and Trent are keeping their children's TV revenue. They might not be legally required to put money in trust in Georgia. However, ethically speaking, many would contend that kids who help a business succeed should be acknowledged and given a real interest in its success. The monetization of family life, the fuzziness of the lines between home and work, and the long-term effects of growing up on camera are some of the larger conflicts in the reality TV industry that are reflected in the 7 Little Johnstons phenomena. The standards for how child stars are handled are always changing as society grows more conscious of concerns like financial justice, labor rights, and consent, even within families. Speculation will continue until the Johnstons decide to take immediate action. However, the connections themselves may be the most telling indicator rather than contracts or financial sheets. It might indicate that, at least for this family, the current arrangement is effective if the kids keep participating voluntarily, talking positively about their experiences, and working toward their goals with parental support. However, the discussion of ownership, of their narratives, their photographs, and their profits, is not likely to go away as kids get more mature. Furthermore, even the most adored reality TV families might be held to a higher standard in a time when responsibility is becoming more and more important.